Hello gamers, it's Tom Sidener, the Lonely Gamer. Today I'm going to take a look at the new expansion for the game Splendor, Cities of Splendor. So the Cities of Splendor expansion has 4 mini expansions inside of it. The 4 mini expansions are Trading Posts, Cities, Strongholds, and the Orient. I'm going to go over each one of these and show you what they are and how they work. So first of all, you're going to set up your Splendor in a normal configuration like you would for the normal game. I've got my tableau set up here. I've got my age cards, age 1, 2, and 3. I also have my nobles set out here, and I have my tableau set out with 4 cards for each age. Now the nobles would be set out depending on the number of players. In this example, I have it set out for a 3-player game. I have +1 noble here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first expansion, Trading Posts. So in Trading Posts, you're going to get a new board. The board looks like this. And you're going to set it somewhere where it can be reached by all players in the game. Each player is going to receive 5 tokens in their specific color to be placed on this board eventually. Now on this board there are several areas. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 different areas, and each area gives you a special ability within the game. Each area also has a cost that you must fulfill before you can use that area in the game. The first one, the cost is 3 rubies, 1 diamond. As long as you have those in your personal tableau, then you can claim this area at the end of your turn by placing one of your colored tokens on that area. And when you do, you're going to get the benefit of this area. The benefit of this area is that after you purchase 1 development card, take 1 gem token. You can take a gem token of any color that you desire. The cost for this level here is 2 diamonds. You must have 2 diamonds in your personal tableau. Once you do, you can claim one of these, and when you do, you get this special ability. And the special ability for this one is, when you take 2 gem tokens of the same color, take 1 gem token of another color. So when you take the 2 gem tokens, instead of just taking 2 greens, you could take 2 greens and a red. Now keep in mind that you still have to meet the requirement of having at least 4 gem tokens available to take the 2 gem tokens in the first place. The next section, you need 3 sapphires and 1 onyx in your personal tableau, and when you do, the special ability is each of your gold tokens is worth 2 gem tokens of the same color. So when you turn in the gold token to purchase a card, you can use that gold token for 2 blues, 2 reds, 2 greens, 2 whites, or 2 blacks. The next level requires you to have 5 emeralds. If you have 5 emeralds, the special ability is 5 prestige points. These are 5 points that can trigger the end of the game. The last section, you have to have 3 onyx to claim this location, and this location actually gives you 1 victory point for each shield that you have on the board. So if I claim this and also these 2, then I would actually have 3 victory points. This can also lead to an end of game condition. And that's it. That's how you use the Trading Post expansion. Okay, so the next expansion we're going to look at is the Cities expansion. Now, the Cities expansion is the expansion that Space Cowboys recommends that you use for your first expansion in this set. It is the easiest expansion to integrate into the game. In order to use the Cities expansion, you're going to first of all remove the nobles from the game. Then you're going to randomly place 3 city tiles into the game area. The city tiles are double-sided, so you can randomly pick whichever side you want to place out. You place 3 city tiles into the game area no matter how many players are playing in the game. The city tiles add a new end condition for the game. In order for the game to end, 1 player will claim a city tile on their turn, which will lead to the last round of the game. In order to claim a city tile, you must have at least the amount of prestige points noted on the tile, plus in your personal tableau you must have the cards indicated on the tile as well. In this case, you would have to have at least 13 prestige points, 4 rubies in your tableau, and 3 onyx in your tableau. Once you meet these conditions, you would take this card and place it in front of you. This card does not give you any points. It only shows that this was the amount of prestige points needed to trigger the end of the game. The game will continue around the table until the last player gets to take their last turn, and the game will end. If only one person took a cities tile during that turn, that person is automatically the winner. If more than one person took a cities tile during that last turn, then the person with the most prestige points will win the game. Along with the 4 expansions that come in the game of Cities of Splendor, they have also included a first player token. This is kind of nice because you don't have to remember who was the first player in the game. The game of Splendor always ends when the last person ends their turn at the end of the game. So you have to know who was the first player, so you know who the player who takes the last turn is. And if you give this to the first player, then you'll always know that the person to their right is the player who will finish their turn and completely end the game. The next expansion we're going to look at is called the Orient, and it adds new cards to the game that add to the game board. So normally we have 4 cards available for each age in the game, but the Orient adds 2 more cards for each age. So for each level, you just put out 2 more cards. You leave the piles for the cards on the right hand side of the game board instead of the left hand side. These are independent piles, and when cards are taken, you refresh them from the pile that they come from. If any of these piles are ever empty, you just leave the location empty from that pile. You never fill these areas from the Orient with cards from the main game. The cards from the Orient have special abilities on them that are different than cards from the base game, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you different ones and how they work. So in level 1, you have 2 different cards. You have 1 card that acts as 2 gold or wild tokens. You place this card into your tableau. When you want to use it, you actually discard it from the game and you use it for 2 gems of any color. It goes back to the box and cannot be used anymore. This card is a wild card and it must be paired with another card. You cannot purchase this card if you have no cards in your tableau. If I had this card in my tableau, I could purchase this card and pair it with this, and now I would have 2 diamonds in my tableau. In level 2, there are 3 different types of cards you can choose from. The first type of card is very similar to this card in Age 1. You take this card, it has to be paired with another card, so I could pair this with this diamond, and now I would have 2 diamonds, but this card also allows me to take, for free, at no cost, another card from the level 1. I do not have to take another diamond. I could take a card of a different gem and place it in front of me. This level 2 card counts as 2 of a specific type of gem. So this would count for 2 diamonds. It would count for purchasing stuff as well as trying to meet in-game conditions. This level 2 card, when you purchase it, counts as a gem of the type that's shown on the card. It also allows you to reserve a noble. So if we had nobles in the game, I could take this noble, I could place it face down on my tableau, and nobody else could have this noble come visit them. You can actually have multiple nobles reserved in your tableau at any given time. If you never meet the requirements of the noble does not count for points for you until you do meet the requirements and the noble is flipped over. For the Orient level 3, there are 2 types. This type here, when you purchase it, gives you a gem of the indicated type. It also lets you take, for no cost, a card from the level 2 area and place it in front of you. This card in the level 3, when you take it, it counts as a gem of the indicated type, but also requires you to discard 2 cards from the game that meet the requirement down at the bottom. So in order to take this card, I would have to have 2 onyx cards in my tableau as such, and these would have to be removed from the game in order to take this card. And that's it. That's the cards from the Orient, how you play them, and how they work. The last expansion in Cities of Splendor is the Strongholds expansion. Each player is given 3 Stronghold tokens at the beginning of the game. Anytime a player takes a buy action, either from their hand or from the table, they place 1 Stronghold on the table, reserving that card. Whenever you play a Stronghold, no other player can reserve that card. As an alternative to playing a Stronghold to reserve a card, you can remove 1 Stronghold of another player's and return it to them. When a card has a Stronghold of a player's color, only that player may purchase that card. Having a Stronghold on the card is very similar to reserving a card, except for you do not get a gold token and you do not remove the card from the play area. You cannot put a Stronghold on a card that has a Stronghold of another player's color, but you can put a Stronghold on a card that already has a Stronghold of your color. If you ever have 3 Strongholds of your color on a single card, then at the end of a turn, you may purchase that card by paying its purchase costs along with whatever else you did on the turn. So if you took gems on the turn, you could take gems and purchase this card. It gives you an extra action on a turn that can only be used to purchase the card that has your 3 Strongholds. You could purchase this card and then turn around and purchase this card as well. Once you purchase a card that has your Strongholds on it, your Strongholds are removed to you and you immediately place 1 Stronghold on another card just like you normally would, or remove 1 Stronghold of another player's. And that's how Strongholds works. And that's it. That's all the expansions in the new Cities of Splendor expansion pack. The company recommends that you only add 1 expansion at a time, but I can see that it is possible to probably do multiple expansions. Some expansions will conflict. If you use the Orient expansion, it's going to allow you to reserve noble cards, and if you're not playing with the nobles, then that card's going to be kind of inert, and you could just play by ignoring that card altogether, but it is going to make it a little trickier to play with both of those expansions. But that's it. Splendor is a great game. It's a game that my game group really likes. It doesn't get to the table as much because it does get kind of repetitive, but I think that the Cities of Splendor is going to add something to the game and get this game to the table more because it's going to give a little more variety. If I had any complaints at all about the Cities of Splendor expansion, it would be the box. As you can see, the box has a preformed cutout location for each one of the pieces of the expansion. This box is plenty big, and it is plenty big to be able to hold the entire game plus the expansions. I wish that Space Cowboys would have made this insert so that it would hold all the tokens and the cards and the nobles and everything from the original game plus the things from the new expansion. You can get everything in here, you can shoehorn it in here, but my OCD kind of drives me insane because this place here where the actual cards go is not deep enough to hold all the cards in the main game and the expansion. It does not go all the way down to the bottom of the box, so they could have dropped this all the way to the bottom of the box. I do believe that all the cards would have fit in there then, and you could have put the other components somewhere else in the box. So Space Cowboys, the only thing I would ask is if you do this in the future, please make the expansion box able to hold everything from the base game plus the expansions. I would understand if this was a little bitty box and you couldn't get everything in there, but this box is pretty good size and definitely would hold the full game and the base game. You could always remove this plastic insert and put everything in baggies, but then it kind of runs the fact of having this really nice insert in your game. So that's it. That's Cities of Splendor expansions. I hope you enjoyed this, and until I see you again, happy gaming. This video was provided by The Lonely Gamer. To see more of our news, reviews, and videos, please visit us at lonelytabletopgamer.com.